This year, we have another exceptional collection of photographs to celebrate, and I look forward to the official announcement of our winner later this evening. And even though being vice chairman has many perks, knowing the winner is not one of them. This event represents the culmination of a lot of hard work by many people, and there are many to thank. In particular, though, I would like to thank two people. Firstly, Ed Batinsky, not only for his role in the development and creation As I said, not only for his role in the development and creation of the Scotiabank Photography Award, but for his commitment to many other projects that the bank has been fortunate to be part of. I'd also like to thank Jane Noakes for her vision. She made me say these things. I'd also like to thank Jane for her vision and leadership in establishing this award, because it wouldn't be here without her support, and for her contributions over many, many years that have brought us to this point. Thank you again for coming tonight, and have a great evening.
Before I introduce Jane Noakes and Ed Bertinsky, I will just say a word or two about the three nominated artists tonight. And I think it's fair to say that these three artists truly represent the breadth and the depth of talent in Canadian contemporary art. Breadth because they each do such different things, working in a similar medium, and depth because the baby in the group, Alain Paiement, who's 52, has been at his practice for a mere 32 years. So that gives you an indication of just how deeply invested they are in their practice. And so I'd just like to say a few things about each of them, and I'd like to start with Fred Herzog, who's not here tonight, who's in Vancouver. And Fred Herzog, like Alain, like Arnaud, has been taking photographs for decades. And in his case, he had one subject. His subject was the city of Vancouver. And he took, I think it's estimated at about 100,000 color Kodachrome slides of Vancouver. And to demonstrate that this was genuinely a labor of love, no one in the public, the wider public, saw this work until very recently, until he was in his mid-70s. And that didn't deter Fred from pursuing it. And what's emerged in the few years since this work has achieved a broader public is an extraordinary record of a city that no longer exists, but that few people would have seen beside Fred. It's a look at a city, Vancouver, which we think of as gleaming and modern and moneyed, but it's a look at its grittier face. It's a look at an immigrant reality before we acknowledged one even existed in this country. So it's an extraordinary body of work. I had the good fortune of being in Vancouver 3 weeks ago at the Equinox Gallery and spent an afternoon with the work, and I can tell you that there were multiple generations of Vancouverites in the gallery looking at the work, and to a person, they were all riveted by it and relating to it on an extremely personal level. Looking at these, you've seen some of the work up there on the screen this evening, the Vancouver Hotel, these wonderful signs from the 1950s, which are now vanished, and everyone has memories. So it's work that touches people in a very personal way. Alain Paiement, as I described him, the baby of the group at 52. Fred is 81. Sorry to fix it on ages. It's very indelicate, but there it is. Alain describes his work as mapping. He says it's mapping, and he's been at it for 32 years. And I've never seen any maps that look like that, Alain. The work is, to my mind, more of a detonation than a map. It's an explosion of what photography can be. It's taking photographs and rendering them in 3 dimensions, looking into spaces from above in ways that no one can see them. And we've published some of your work in the Globe and Mail, and it's truly wonderful. It evokes, for me at least, a kind of childlike view of the world, and a really wonderful one at that. And our third nominee this evening is Arnaud Mags. Arnaud is someone who took up photography as a full-time practice at the tender age of 47. So I suppose there's still hope for me. And his work is characterized by its range, and I would almost say its compulsion. He takes portrait photography. He collects objects. His wife, Spring, told me that when Arnaud and she are in France, they get up at the crack of dawn at 5 in the morning, and they go to the flea markets, and they put on their running shoes because they want to collect these things, these fragments of life, this ephemera, things like 19th century mourning letters, payment bills that belong to aristocratic families, that detail their household items. And Arnaud's vision enables him to put these things, to render these things as both beautiful objects and records of time gone by. I was at the National Gallery in Ottawa on the weekend, and I spent time looking at the work that's part of a great retrospective show there, and it's absolutely beautiful. These are three nominees who are more than worthy. They're giants in their field, and I think they deserve a great round of applause from everyone.
Thank you, Gabe. It goes without saying that it's a real pleasure and honor to be part of this prize and to be here today. And I also want to thank you all for coming out on this rainy night to join us in the celebration of excellence in Canadian photography. I'd also like to congratulate the three shortlisted, Fred Herzog, who's not here, Elaine and Arnaud. And Elaine and Arnaud, in case the crowd doesn't know, could you please both stand up? And again, the other people who were also nominated were excellent. It was a very difficult decision, but the jury was quite confident that these were the right choices. And so congratulations, guys, for shortlisting.